STAR program is our audit program for our service network. So our service network is made up of third-party independents. They're all contracted for us, and it's our expectations of meeting the requirements for providing good aftermarket service. So there's about 50 key items that make up the STAR program, and that audit contains data collection from our service providers as well as our operating companies. So we get it from both the source of service and from our manufacturing facilities. And then we engage our dealers, our reps, and end users in surveys prior to the actual audit taking place. So that audit then takes place physically on site of the service providers' locations. We review the data. Our reps participate, our area vice presidents participate in those audits. We have conversations about the interviews from dealers, reps, and users. We review the data. We inspect their parts inventories and make sure that they're doing the right things. Their technicians are properly trained. They've got a good first-time fix rate, and they have good parts management and inventory in place. Each one of our brands has a required list of inventory parts, which is made up from engineering and quality control and the engineering technical service department. That makes up that first list of recommended parts. And then we use historical information as well by model over time to refine that required list of parts inventory. There's also a recommended list of parts that we recommend they carry as well, but aren't necessarily part of that required list. And then we further break that down into what we call go box, which would be specific parts that we expect them to carry on a van, so they're ready for a specific model or piece of equipment to get a first-time fix repair. The ultimate goal is to keep the end user up and running, so we minimize the downtime, because the cost of service is certainly an issue, but the cost of downtime is considerably more to an end user than the repair itself. It's a fantastic response from our end users. They're excited about it, and we continue to improve and grow the program. Now in Canada, Entrenched is the STAR program. First year we did Latin America in 2010, and we're underway in terms of putting the building blocks in place for Europe as well. It's important as our end user customers expand and grow around the world to get the same level of service regardless of where they place a restaurant. So our ultimate vision is to be able to provide the same level of service no matter where a customer opens their restaurant around the globe. In the U.S., there are 86 companies that are authorized through the STAR program. And then, of course, we expand that as we go around the world. But the ultimate goal is to have the best service provider in any market, a choice of service providers in major markets, and, of course, that they be the best option available in any market. The authorization is actually a contractual agreement between the service company and the manufacturer of the equipment itself. So the contracts are individual in that they're operating company based. They're specific, the territory by zip code. So the expectations of what that authorization means, the training level, the parts inventory requirements, the parts management requirements, the geographical area of coverage, responsibility, and accountability is very clear, and they're all contractually based, and that's what makes up an authorization. STAR program's been 8 years in the U.S. It's been several years now in Canada, first year again in Latin America, and not yet in Europe, but that will be the first place we roll out, and eventually we will be implementing in APAC as well until we reach the globe. There's a lot more than just price goes into the part selection and a replacement component. It's important that you hold the original specification that an end user chose. The unit gets tested through engineering, it gets field tested, it goes through life cycle testing, and those components are specifically designed to make sure that piece of equipment performs to health and safety standards, meets all of the agency approval standards, USF, NSF, health and safety regulations. And it's important that you use those original components so that that equipment performs energy use, it's safe, reliable, and you get the life cycle out of it that you expected. Replacement components are often advertised to be the same or similar, but in most cases they're not. They simply aren't. They don't run through the same quality control inspections at our facilities. And there are times when the component may be more expensive, but there's a reason for that. All the testing that goes into it, the quality control inspections, that component, you can be rest assured that it's going to be safe, meet the specifications, meet all the regulations required to keep your equipment reliable and keep your life cycle. So this is a Galaxy device. It's a handheld unit. You can actually run the training module with a handheld device. We're on a wireless connection. I can choose to run a service menu. Here is what we're looking at, so I can diagnose, have this handheld real-time 24/7, 365 while I'm in front of a piece of equipment, drive me through the error codes so I get a proper diagnosis of equipment. There is an impact on warranty. In many cases, even if the equipment itself might have a 1-year parts and labor warranty, but in many cases the warranty of the shell or frame or certain components might run much longer than that. And if OEM parts are not used, you're running the risk of voiding that warranty and voiding the agency approvals and potentially even harming the equipment's operational efficiency. You could be using more energy. It may not be cooking properly or holding proper temperatures because of internal resistance of components may not meet the original specifications.